Hello and welcome back to another Reverse 1999 episode. Unfortunately, as much as I want to record the event, real life situations dictate that I cannot. Maybe the next one. I keep coping to myself every time. I tell myself next time, and then next time arrives, and I do nothing with it. In any case, let's resume main story, The Star. Now, if you couldn't tell, the name, new direction, and the fact that we get this item, a Child of Prosperity, the thing you do to level up your stuff in the wilderness. Yeah, the fact we're getting that, I'm just not optimistic. I think this is the last chapter, and we're gonna have to move on. Yes, the Let's Play is just gonna go on hiatus until the next update, where we can play events, and hopefully I'll record that. But as far as right now, as far as the short-term future, I don't know. What can I explore other than Reverse 1999? I mean, I can play Epic 7, but surely there's something out there that I can play. Anyways, enough edging. Let's just begin. A new direction. A new steam whistle sounds. By all means, board the ship. As you can see, my English deteriorates whenever amazing word. Whenever I don't play this game. We're all over the place. The dramas have ended. All is profoundly hushed in this cold and dark room. The researcher sighs and starts settling the messy papers and dusty tools on the table. My bad. Why is it mistaken for a utility room? Is it because of the mess? Metallic footsteps come from outside the door.
I am astonished by the fact that you are interacting with others.
All I can say is, actually no. I preserve what little self-respect I have to myself. Another trespasser.
They broke in.
The robot in charge of the Laplace Scientific Computing Center shrugs and refuses to take any comments. She has already heard all the information she needs in the corridor.
If it was a complaint that you were making, you know it is within your rights to submit an interdepartmental complaint within 7 days after the incident.
Don't bother. That file means nothing to me. I didn't file it because it is a report against the rules. Why bother to submit such a log full of personal feelings and emotional behaviors to our great, rigorous foundation?
Is that so? I am gratified to find that you still have some sense.
I too am gratified that you still have no idea that I was being sarcastic.
Oh, that was sarcasm.
Never mind. What do you want from me, Madam Lucy?
He asks as he bends down and organizes the papers scattered all over the place. This is the best effort he cares to make to receive a guest.
You went all the way to this dusty, rundown
I apologize for that.
place so hurriedly that you even forgot to put on that pathetic mask. This is not because of some old files, I assume.
The faceless robot inclines its head in agreement.
Certainly. I hope you can be the cryptographer of the Manus Vindictae's ritual. You are still the best.
You are asking me, a human, to decode the ritual of a pureblood arcanist group? I don't see how I'll be helpful to this project.
You cannot evaluate your own level of being of value, Adler.
I like how he just smiles and says, "I'm useless. Leave me alone." The researcher keeps unfolding more dusty folders without raising his eyes from the table. Oh my god, I swear, I'm only reading one sentence at a time, and I swear, every time I make a mistake, I feel like a child. I feel like I should go back to 5th grade or something. Man, this is embarrassing. Unlucky.
Well, you evaluate our value. Test us in experiments you set. Prove the hypotheses by exhaustion. Make mistakes and start all over again. You repeat the process like a roaring locomotive that pulls the research center out of this chaotic disaster. You question not what is ahead of you, nor whether the path you've taken will be regular or easy. The only idea you planted into your little brain is to move forward, to improve.
Thank you for your compliment. Credit goes to everyone.
That was not even a... Ismirgar.
I wonder what language that was.
Guess you agree. A life without creativity is not worth living. And that's the life that I wake up to every day. I'm no longer the person you thought you came here for. I'll never be able to combine human technology and Arcanum. And I'll never comprehend even the slightest part of it. I am useless to you.
He squares up the paper on the desk in a grumpy manner, making a huge knocking noise.
I don't expect someone made of tin to understand a human mind. But I beg of you, leave me alone.
The robot ignores his emotional speech and keeps talking.
The work of analyzing the masks of Manus Vindicte did not go well. A side effect occurs in the researchers, and it is getting worse. The isolation wards on the basement level are overwhelmed.
What a scene. Have you aborted the experiment?
Not yet. We have conducted the Arcanum imaging experiment on the masks and found a component which also exists in the raindrops of the storm, but knowing what it is composed of does not help explain how it works. What we're looking for is the original ritual that the Manus cast on them.
You are trying to figure out one's career planning from one's physical examination report. I wonder why it is not working. Even if somehow you manage to find the original ritual, you still need a proper environment to test it, which is the outside world with a coming storm.
The researcher turns to her, wisdom and sarcasm glow in his eyes.
That's why we can't tell if we're getting results. Even if we had the right ritual, proper permission from the Foundation to travel, and strong-minded volunteer subjects, experiments performed in the Ivory Tower won't succeed because...
An experiment about the storm can only be done in a storm. Glad to see your brain is not rusty yet. It only took you 3 sentences to draw the conclusion which took the seminar a week to reach. That proves you are capable of the project.
I just got hit by a strong whiplash. No. This dialogue cannot pass. No. Listen, I know board meetings are stupid, but like, oh my god, no. Don't pass off any. Listen. Nothing against Enigma, but like, don't pass him off as this genius because of this line of dialogue, okay? And again, this Lucy robot, I really do antagonize new characters, it seems, but no way they came to a logical conclusion. Like, just say it verbally, just tell the other person, hey, experiment A doesn't work unless the correct environment is there. It's like, whoa, there's actually no way this passed as dialogue. Like, it makes sense, right? You can only test anti-storm measures in the storm, but to make it be this, oh, it took us a week to arrive at that? Holy, my respect for the Laplace place kind of just crumbled. Like, wow, let's test fireproof gear. Well, you need fire, sure. No shit, you need fire. Oh my god. My brain just farted and exploded. No, you can't end the last chapter on such a disappointing line. Man, let's keep going. Even Enigma is disappointed. Like, god damn. The robot in charge puts a document on the table.
The history maintenance team has forecast different critical points of this storm.
Are these summonable
Foundation
characters?
investigators are on their way.
Greta Hoffman. Probably not summonable. The other person... I assume we're gonna see the other person in the game. Not as a playable character, maybe as an unplayable character. I mean, they are dispatched, so we are probably gonna see them if this investigation keeps going.
If Manus Vindicte still plans to accelerate the storm, like what they have done in 1929, there will be a high possibility that their people will show up at the transformation point of history and society, also known as the critical point of time, the center of the storm. Your sister, Greta Hoffman, is also one of the investigators.
I have no interest in any Hoffmans other than myself. We have different perspectives.
It is okay. I am just here to inform you that if any of the investigators successfully send the information of the ritual back, the research about the immunity of the storm will be conducted immediately. Take your time and be mentally prepared. But once the storm alert is issued, we only have 24 hours to verify the feasibility of the ritual. I wish you will be fully prepared by then.
The robot gets out of the room, leaving him no right to choose. Her feet crash into the floor, making a steely sound. Enigma's eyes flicker towards the document. The face on the top is familiar to him. He pulls out the drawer and takes out a scrap of paper. This is the last code he didn't give to anyone.
One thing is for sure now. The age of humans has come to an end.
Oh, she's the author of that book? Ain't no way. Oh, that's the end? That's it? Oh my god. Not only was I disappointed one time, I've been disappointed twice. No Matilda, Buonish, no Verton, no Sinetto, nothing. It's just... I mean, I understand Verton and Sinetto are on the island and all, but like... Oh, you're telling me we're gonna stay like this in main story for 3 chapters in a row? Like, hello? Hello? Am I the only one who wasn't satisfied by that?
The color of your eyes very well.
I guess if you want to click off the video's over. We're done with main story. I guess I'll ramble a bit about Reverse 1999. So, in the beginning of the story, okay, assuming I'm getting this right in my mind, we have chapter 1, alright? We have chapter 1, and we meet Schneider. Actually, no. Let's talk about the prologue. We find... what's-her-face? We find that one unit. Regulus, right? Regulus is able to witness the storm. And I really have to question, right? So, in chapter 2, when the storm passes, Carson and all the people affected by the storm, syndrome, were completely wiped. Right? Again, my assumption is if you're Arcanist, you survive. Or if you're human and you were affected by the syndrome, the storm syndrome, you get wiped. Okay? So, again, I know Regulus is a Arcanist and all that shenanigans, but, I was about to ask a question, but I think the story answered it. I was gonna ask, why was Regulus able to see the storm and why wasn't she wiped? But then again, she didn't, she didn't conform to the, to the storm syndrome. So, okay, fair enough. I guess Arcanists can see the storm, but if they don't go to a safe area, they get wiped by it. So that's fair enough. And a question I have is, if there was such a thing as a perfect storm, as in a storm that covered the entire world, assuming that this storm is the strongest storm in the world, a perfect wipe could have happened, and we could have been sent back in time. And it really begs the question, is there a part of history that has been rewound that the Foundation or the Number people can find out? But again, it's probably unlikely because the story establishes the Cave is immune, the Manus Vindictae are immune, the Elitiao base is immune, the Foundation is immune for some reason. A very lucky coincidence, I guess. In like 4 chapters we're gonna find out, oh, actually Arcana may have been bad, but she actually had a reason all along, and then it turns out the Foundation people are bad all along. I mean, let's look at chapter 4. We literally... Constantine is our biggest enemy here, for no reason, by the way. And the director of the Foundation, the only dialogue we get is him being like... And then, Constantine is like, yes, master, I shall make sure that your order gets carried out. Anyways, back to chapter 1, right? So we meet Schneider, and she's killing people off, changing history, blah, blah, blah. And so it turns out that Manus Vindictae actually captured Schneider's sister, which is why she was fighting for Manus Vindictae the whole time, because Manus Vindictae, stole her sister, and she was looking for her sister, and they said they'd help her find the sister. You know how that played out. And yeah, chapter 1 is actually pretty straightforward. Except to this day, I don't know the answer to this question. Schneider's parents are still alive and have raised how many daughters? How many older sisters does she have? I legit have no idea, and I'm not gonna guess, because I tried guessing the other day and nothing came of it. So yeah, we come to chapter 2, all that shenanigans, and then we see that Regulus has been accepted to the Foundation. She joins X, his laboratory, all that stuff, and then we fight. We talk with Druvis. We talk with what's her face again? We talk with Sotheby, we talk with Arcana, all that good stuff, and we fight Forget-Me-Not eventually, and yeah, Druvis, once she takes off the mask, actually joins us, and that's gotten me confused. Why'd she put the mask in the first place, and why is she acting confused after that? Listen, as much as I like Druvis, her actions are not consistent in a way. I guess she's an arcanist, so she has an excuse, but yeah, it's like, oh, she's not sure about Manus Vindictae, yet she still wore the mask. But then as soon as the mask came off, she's not with Manus Vindictae, yet somehow Arcana allows it. I mean, I understand Arcana at the end attacks the Chicago HQ. Actually, I don't know if it was even the Chicago HQ, as in the Foundation HQ, but like she goes to Chicago or something, or Washington DC, to loot resources or something, so that when the storm shifts, she takes these resources to another era. So like, again, if Arcana could have anticipated Miss Druvis's betrayal, why did she leave Miss Druvis to her devices? And again, in my opinion, it would make sense if Forget-Me-Not got wiped by the storm, but according to people, or according to what I've read online, Forget-Me-Not might still be alive, and if that's the case, I really wish to see him in the future. Really like that character, love his voice actor, love the mood he sets and all that shenanigans in between. Let's move on to chapter 3. Honestly, this chapter has been one of the more, I don't want to call it disappointing chapter. Like, I love the backstory and everything in it, but the way it begins, the artificial somnambulism, is like, man, Soneto's character also needs to be consistent. She was raised by the School of Discipline and all that shenanigans, where they do this thing where they eliminate all your differences, they try to steal you, they try to make everyone the same, they try to do, the typical anime or the typical movie plot where, oh, the dictator is trying to put us into the same personalities, or all of us wear white shirts and we all have to conform to whatever the rules are, blah blah blah, long list of shenanigans, a common trope. Again, this is why I think Constantine and the director of the Foundation are evil. It's because, hey, isn't it a common theme to have these schools of discipline where they ruin a person? They really do. And as far as I'm concerned, the people studying within these classrooms are pretty bad people. Like, I don't know, we fought the Foundation more than they have helped us. Does that make sense? Anyways, so yeah, so the students aren't good people, the teachers aren't good people, it's censorship, it's all censorship. Now I understand, Manus Vindictae, evil group, censor them away, but I'm just saying, the school itself, the way the Foundation recruits its arcanists, I mean, now that the bill has passed in chapter 4, Vertin has more flexibility and all that shenanigans, but like, pre-chapter 4, it's just the way the Foundation seeks arcanists. I mean, just look at chapter 4 as well, in the debate between Soneto and the guy from Chicago. They literally enter an argument one-to-one with each other, and they fight with each other about how when Schneider was seeking refuge, the guy sent her a letter and he said fuck off. So yeah, again, here's the thing that's messing my brain with Soneto, is that Soneto allows Vertin to go out into the storm when she was a child, is that Soneto, despite the fact that she is the upstanding student of the Discipline Foundation, or the Discipline School, despite her being the embodiment of the Foundation's teachings, she looks too curious about Vertin's ways, other people's ways, and all that shenanigans. And while she does show some discomfort here and there, for example, when Vertin left the school, she was self-doubting. Should I even be allowing her to leave? Should I be fighting for her? I mean, Seneto ends up making the decision to stay where she is, but in a way, she violates the Foundation's rules to make sure that, hey, Vertin, if you truly believe that this is what you want to do, then do it, you know? So, like, again, Seneto, despite her being the embodiment of the Foundation, she looks very curious to go the other way, right? She will challenge the Foundation, and I really hope that doesn't come to bite her in the future. Again, the only reason I'm disappointed in Chapter 4 or Chapter 3 is that they introduced us to characters only to wipe them immediately. And now, on one end, okay, that's just a story, that's just emotional baggage, you know? You get attached to one character, you get attached to the other character, and then it shows you the storm, quite literally. But then, it's just... Constantine planned it. Constantine is the reason those kids got wiped in the first place. It's like, holy! It's like she viewed them as a cancer and she just eliminated them. Like, goddamn, Constantine. I thought the School of Discipline was, raising the next generation or something. What is this? George the Oak is already 700 years old. Which animal in the tree hole is listening to that song with you? Squirrel? I don't know how to write that. I'm pretty sure I answered this before, but I mistyped it. Anyways, Chapter 4. Nothing much to say. Madam Z is pretty Chad. Also, the only reason I'm leaving Chapter 4 is, for some reason, whenever you open Chapter 4, the soundtrack in the background gets louder. So yeah, when the soundtrack is loud, I tend to raise my voice, which ends up, making me shout when I don't have to. Anyways, right, Chapter 4. I can't really nitpick about Chapter 4. I really enjoyed Chapter 4. I like how laid back it was, and again, one of the comments, or one of the things I've read, actually got my gears grinding, is that Chapter 2 of the event, Miss Tooth Fairy, Horopedia, Miss Horopedia, Jessica, that event, yeah, it's like, that event is in the future, yet, I don't know, I'm trying to remember Miss Riskkeeper's dialogue, and nothing's coming to mind, actually. It's just, I don't think they dropped any subtle hints on what happens, right? Because again, it just shows you Seneto more relaxed, but it doesn't show you Seneto post character development, or it's not like Seneto or Vertin has a huge personality shift of that nature. So I don't know. That event, weird. So you're telling me the first event of the game is a prequel, and then the second event is in the future, and then the third event is also a prequel, and then this chapter 4, or this fourth side story, is happening right now. I'm actually confused as to why they would order the events this way, but hey, at the end of the day, if I was bored, I wouldn't have played up to this point, so I guess it was fun to play this game. And I will definitely be doing my dailies, leveling up units here and there where I can. Maybe one day we're gonna open this screen and actually grind something. As you can see, nothing done this week. Yeah, I should probably work on that. I guess the only thing left, if I ever do upload videos in the next week that are Reverse 1999 related, it's gonna be 3 doors. Door. In any case, I've overstayed my welcome. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.